Okay guys, I'm here for the 4th video of my SummerSlam review series, SummerSlam 1991. This show took place on August the 26th, 1991 from Madison Square Garden in New York, New York. 8 matches are on this card, and there's also a segment, and that segment will affect the overall star rating while not included in for the matches, but I will bump the show up due to that. Our opening contest is a 6-man tag. The British Bulldog, Ricky Steamboat, and the Texas Tornado versus the Warlord and Power and Glory. 2.5-star tag match. There's a lot of things, though, about this show because it's kind of depressing sometimes, because a lot of people involved in matches on this show are no longer with us. And in the opening 6-man tag, 3 members of the 6-man tag are no longer here. That's being the British Bulldog, the Texas Tornado, and Hercules, the Power and Glory. But this is still a very good 6-man tag. It's 2.5 stars. It's not as good as some other opening tag team contests that SummerSlam became known for, but it's still okay. It's 2.5 stars, which is average. Finish comes when Steamboat leaps off the top rope, and I believe he pins Paul Roman for crossbody. Steamboat would disappear again from the WWE right after this. So, also 2 members of the broadcast team for this match aren't here, and that's for this pay-per-view aren't here, and that's Monsoon and Roddy Piper now, since we just lost Roddy Piper. So, yeah, adds to the depressing factor of this show. But 2.5 stars for that tag match. So then we get the WWE Intercontinental Championship match. Mr. Perfect versus Bret the Hitman Hart. In one of SummerSlam's greatest matches. Oh yeah, this is one of SummerSlam's all-time great matches. It's one of the Intercontinental title's greatest matches. It's a 4.5-star match. And if you want to go to the whole 5, go ahead. But honestly, with me, I didn't go all the way to 5. I gave it 4.5, just because, you know, it would have been 5 stars if Perfect's back wasn't messed up. I think that it could have been better. So given what we had, it's 4.5 stars. But that's my opinion. That's my opinion. You know, it's 4.5 stars. It's a very good match, and like I said, if you want to give it 5, be my guest. I'm not going to complain. But again, Mr. Perfect, not with us. That's 4 people already on this show not with us. 4.5 stars, great match. Bret Hart was the sharpshooter, and Mr. Perfect made Bret Hart look like a viable singles wrestler. Since you have to keep in mind, at the WrestleMania 7, Bret Hart was in a tag match with Jim Neidhart going against the Nasty Boys for the tag team titles. So, this is really Bret's first showcase as a singles wrestler was in this match, and Perfect made him look good. 4.5 stars, great match. So next we have the Bushwhackers versus the Natural Disasters. 1.5 stars. And again, another competitor from this pay-per-view is not here, and that being Earthquake. You know, this whole thing was around, Earthquake was looking for a tag team partner in 1991. He asked Andre the Giant. Andre turned him down. Andre got into a stop with Jimmy Hart, and then Earthquake used the megaphone, and then he hit Andre's knee, so the Bushwhackers have Andre out there. This was also Andre's last actual WWE appearance, I do believe. I could be wrong on that, but I believe it was his last appearance for the WWE. He was long since out of the wrestling wars by then, but yeah. Natural Disasters win with the Earthquake to Luke. That's all you need to know. 1.5 stars. So then we get a rarity, the $1 Million Championship match. The $1 Million Man, DiBiase versus Virgil. 2.5 stars. Good match. And again, Sensational Sherri no longer with us being involved in this event and this match as DiBiase's manager. You know, the thing is, yeah, okay, Virgil ended up not being anything, but when he worked with DiBiase, the fans cared about him a lot. Once he got done with DiBiase, honestly, Virgil never got back over with anything. But Ted DiBiase made him look good enough to where the fans got behind him, and they loved Virgil. Through this entire feud, it went from WrestleMania through here, they loved and got behind Virgil, and then he basically became an enhancement talent in a way. Virgil wins the $1 Million Championship here when he rams DiBiase twice into an exposed turnbuckle. 2.5 stars. Oh, so then we get the Jailhouse match, where the loser has to spend 24 hours in a New York City jail. The Big Boss Man versus the Mountie. 2-star match. And again, the Boss Man's no longer here. Boy, this show can get depressing when you think about all these people that are no longer with us anymore. Boss Man wins when Mountie goes for a power driver. Boss Man reverses it into an Alabama Slam type move and wins that way. But that's a 2-star match. But this is all the aftermath of all this stuff. The Mountie is some of the funniest stuff that WWE's ever done. And this is another reason I say you should watch this show, is for all the aftermath of what happened when the Mountie goes to jail. It's comedy gold here, and it's something that I look forward to watching when I rewatch the SummerSlams every year. Is watching these other shows of the Big Four help me get into the mood and help me get excited for the next one for that coming year. So 2 stars. Okay, good. Okay, match. So then we get a no countout, no disqualification, basically a street fight for the WWE Tag Team Championships. The Nasty Boys versus the Legion of Doom. Again, Hawk is no longer with us. 1.5 stars. Not the best street fight, and given the fact that this is a match that works for both LOD and the Nasties, there's a lot more that could have been done with this. But for what it is, it's not that bad. Legion of Doom win. They become the WWE Tag Team Champions. As they probably should have. And they probably should have done it in 1990, to be quite honest, when they first showed up there. But whatever. 1.5 stars. So then we get Greg the Hammer Valentine versus IRS in what is the worst match on this card. But it's still not bad. It's 1 star. IRS wins, and Valentine goes for the figure 4, and IRS catches him in a small package. So, yeah. Okay match, it's 1 star, but it is the worst match on this card. So then we get the main event. At least the in-ring main event, anyway. At least the in-ring main event. As it's Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior versus Sergeant Slaughter, General Adnan, and Colonel Mustafa with the special referee Sid Justice. Yeah, so this is a handicap match. And again, Warrior is no longer with us of this. So another guy that's no longer with us. This is an okay handicap match. It's 3 stars. And it's famous for the fact that apparently, depending on who you ask, the WWE's most logical thing is Warrior helped Vince McMahon up for money. Vince gave him the money, and then Warrior did the match, and then got fired when he came back to the back. And then Hogan throws salt in or powder in Slaughter's eyes, and then leg drops Slaughter, and wins the match. And then him and Justice pose. So yeah, 3 stars. That's the in-ring portion of this show right there. And that in-ring person actually got an 18.5 out of 40 stars. However, what's going to give the overall final star rating for this, which the star rating will still be 40 because if I give a star rating to a segment, it's a segment that'll just bump up the star rating in a way, or help the overall rating of the show. And that's where we get this. The wedding between the Macho Man Randy Savage and Miss Elizabeth. This is a segment that is 24 years old on a pay-per-view that is 24 years old. And if this happened today, I would rip the WWE. I would bash the WWE for having a Raw segment main event a pay-per-view. But there's a big difference between this thing, Savage and Elizabeth's wedding, and almost anything today. And that is, this is something that if you're my age, between like say mid-20s, early 30s, and are old enough to remember this, This is one of those things that every time you watch it, you're just going to get emotional and it's going to tug in your heartstrings. It's not always about the in-ring competition. It's about the story. It can also be about the story, and this was just that. Elizabeth used to be Randy Savage's heat magnet, okay? And then he dumps her, goes to Sherri, and then WrestleMania 7, after that retirement match, all the great stuff in that retirement match. When Savage and Elizabeth got back together, and then they do this marriage on SummerSlam. Now, to be fair, this was basically so the WWE could acknowledge what everyone already knew, and that was that Savage and Elizabeth were married outside of WWE. But the thing about that, this is done so well, and there was just so much history and story behind Savage and Elizabeth that it just works. And again, you got two other people who are no longer with us, sadly, in Savage and Elizabeth. But a moment like this that stands the test of time so much and really helps this show out to make it one of the all-time great SummerSlams is because you have a moment like this between the wedding of Savage and Miss Elizabeth. You know, and it's those kind of things that why I still watch professional wrestling, out of probably a naive faith that the WWE or some company can come up with an angle this good, or just some kind of a segment on a show that just tugs at your heartstrings so much that you will always remember and point to it as one of the reasons that you love watching professional wrestling. It's kind of those. You know, in my case, it's one match, Ricky Steamboat and Macho Man had in WrestleMania 3, and it's this kind of a moment that I see. And ironically, this is the wedding that at least the TV portion of it went off without a hitch. Now, the hitch came at the reception, but that wasn't aired, so the aired portion went off without a hitch, which is unique for WWE weddings because almost all of them have been interrupted since then. So, yeah. The next video in this series, SummerSlam 1992. Arguably the greatest SummerSlam of all time, and has arguably the greatest Intercontinental Championship match of all time, but I don't think but I will get to that when I talk about SummerSlam 1992, which will be either tomorrow or Monday. So this will be in the SummerSlam Review Series playlist. If you like the video, like button is down there, subscribe button is down there, and thank you for watching. Bye.